Welcome. Welcome, everyone. It's Angelo Robles, and welcome to At Family Office. And for my members of SFO Continuity, a very special welcome. It is a cold day here in New England, but I am thinking of Palm Beach. And that's what I'd like to discuss today. And yes, one of you already commented, this is definitely a Palm Beachy sports jacket, that's for sure. Well, it's coming 2 weeks from today if you're watching this live. So I'd like to talk about mainly the amazing speakers and quality of program that I think is incredibly valuable to family offices at my 2026 Palm Beach Family Office Forum. And my cohorts as co-chairs from Europe, Alexander Galambos, and from the West Coast here in the US, Bryant Hayward, who are active and incredible partners and participants. And I'd like to give a little bit of my 20 years in the community, somewhat of an overview that I'm sure all of you, whether high net worth, principal, rising gen, family office executive, or advisor in servicing the community. Although we enjoy peer to peer connectivity, we enjoy getting out there, and there's always going to be interesting people to meet. Would you broadly agree that the quality of the programming and the curation of the events within the family office industry, well, they're just not that good? And broadly speaking, over 20 years, I believe that's gone down. When I first started Family Office Association to even my latter years before I sold, I guess there comes a point when we all may so called jump the shark a little bit. And having a chance to exit and reflect definitely helps. And being resilient and coming back, I hope, better than ever before. I think the challenge that I have broadly within the community is the vast majority of programs, and the organizers are well meaning, and there will be some value there if you look hard enough. I think there's a couple of issues. One, the ratio of real family offices to others is just flat out not good. And to make the model work when you don't have a membership models means it needs to be driven effectively by sponsors. What happens then is not really just conflicted. Some partner sponsors are talented and good speakers. The majority are not. And the whole model is built around a panel about monetizing multiple people with conflicting interest, fighting for airtime in a session that then to the attendees provides very, very little value. I've been there, I've done that. I'm not perfect. I do understand that. So when I built what I'm doing now, only a couple of years ago, and had a chance to organize programs really only about a year ago, but taking my experiences about what members and families want and effectively what they don't want and kind of rebuilding that model. So I would like to share in about 2 or 3 minutes. I'm going to pull up so I could describe some of the sessions that I'm hosting in 2 weeks and doing something over 4 days. I'm telling you, that is a logistical challenge. So I begin on Monday, March 16th with a reception at a beautiful, very special location. Tuesday and Wednesday on Palm Beach Island, just an incredible destination, and end at National Polo Club on Thursday, the 19th, over 4 days is very, very unique within the industry. But I wanted to set the stage with a little bit of context. There is a version of a family office event, and most people where they sit what feels to me and often a generic ballroom for days, listening to people talk about macro, about capital allocation, or usually more about their fund or funds and why you should invest. And we collect business cards from service providers, and fly home, often having learned nothing that we couldn't have learned and perhaps better within a white paper. So I wanted to do something different in my annual marquee program, obviously, in beautiful Palm Beach over 4 days, March 16th through 19th, in a room that doesn't resemble what the other or most others are doing in the industry. And I will share what's going to happen inside. But in telling you something more, what is not in the program in some ways than what is. Well, one, it's not open registration. Even for money, you can't just buy a ticket. There's no early bird pricing. There's no wait list to add your name if we reach a number of attendees and want more. The room in March in Palm Beach is for members who have a commonality of wealth and success, of principles, of executives in the family office. There needs to be something, a community to rally around where they want quality of programming and are willing to pay for it by being a member of an organization. Imagine walking into a room where effectively every person has earned their seat, where the selection is deliberate, where I mentioned the word curated before, it's curated, where the standard for who belongs there was held without compromise. And then the entire dynamic of the room changes. The conversations change. The candor changes. The willingness to be honest about what is working, what has failed. We're going to get to that. Where conviction actually lives, I think it all changes because everyone in the room knows that everyone else in that room belongs there, if that's the right word. That's not a small thing. That's actually everything. The overwhelming majority of people in the rooms in Palm Beach are principals of family offices, rising gen, leading executives, founding principals, and active allocators as multifamily office principals, real ones, carrying the weight of multi-generational wealth, who are looking for what you're looking for. An honest conversation with people who actually understand the world that we live in, and the ratio of having a room of 60 real families, maybe 2 partnering sponsors, and a couple of highly curated speakers. That's it. That's a great ratio. And that exists when you're a membership-driven organization. The community holds itself effectively to a high standard. Now, trust me, we are in a world where the world is moving fast, way faster than how most corporations and families are keeping up. And really, to me, it all kind of begins within the first session. So I'm going to pick out selectively. I'm going to actually open up the agenda myself and look at it now and share a little bit of the context and bringing you into kind of that special environment in beautiful Palm Beach with your peers. Like I said, I want to begin, of course, with wonderful company in a great setting. And I noted a welcome reception Monday, the 16th in Palm Beach. Now, you could bet you after that, I'm going to go to Churchill Cigars and enjoy a beautiful cigar. Some families will come with me. It'll be a wonderful opportunity. Now, Tuesday and Wednesday are the anchor programming days at one of the finest destinations in Palm Beach. And I'm looking at one of the sessions now. It's called A Crucible of Conviction. 3 families, and that is anchored to my program. 60+% of my programming, really over 2.5 days of programming, features actual principals, rising gen, and leading single family office executives. In this example, 3 of them, 3 truths and 6 lessons. The best idea the worst mistake, and no filter. Imagine these people answering their single highest conviction investment thesis they're backing for 2026. And how about the mistake that cost them the most? Maybe what they didn't do in 2025 and what they would do admitting the mistake. And that's important. We don't hear that enough. What they would have done differently. We're going to have families take us through having met with 100 other families, traveled to 40 cities in 2025, and the verdict of what they're seeing: geopolitics, macroeconomics, investing, the rise of AI. When borders shift and algorithms rule, kind of who survives? We're going to have a gentleman, very discreet, coming in from Switzerland, talking about when nations default, the bullion exodus, and what comes after fiat. Effectively, the dollar, monetary policy, global fiat currencies, gold, silver, commodities, and the interplay from a central banking perspective. He's very, very dynamic. We have a session led by Bryant Hayward, who I mentioned earlier, where seven, not one, two, or three, seven families reveal where they just deployed, where they're moving to next in terms of their capital, the most significant investment and their thesis behind it, what they liquidated or reallocated to fund it. We never talk about that. And what they're hunting for in their deployment as a direct investor, public markets, AI, private markets as an LP in this year in 2026. We have a self-made billionaire talking about her journey in entrepreneurship, the family office, what she's doing that's different, and a philanthropic perspective. We have a gentleman who left as an insider, longtime employee of NVIDIA, has money and resources, and is sharing his insight on chips, AI, what makes NVIDIA great, Jensen Huang, who he loves, by the way, and sharing initiatives that he's active and involved in. We have a self-made investor that came from nothing and is worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Really a modest size family office and a wonderful, maybe the best I know that no one knows about, private investor, often in public markets. You could do it too. And how he's done so well, and his highest conviction investments in 10 of them, we'll probably get 15 out of them. Although how could you have 15? But some that are on the next level up, depending on how things play out here in 2026. And here's one of my favorite sessions actually on Wednesday. We're calling it Inside the Machine. A single family office CEO of a giant multi-billion dollar brand name single family office, sovereign AI, real estate, and what actually works. He's going to talk about generational real estate investing, how he's incorporated, partially thanks to me, sovereign AI infrastructure into the processes and decision-making within his family office, cash management at scale, what he calls the third-party rail thesis, evaluating deals across political regimes, monetary systems, and technological disruption, and his mastery of vendor negotiations. We have someone else right after that, self-made from rural Canada, incredibly successful, principal in his own real family office that has multiple non-family members working in it. We're going to call it the invisible allocator, how he's made 150 bets on the future, and you probably never heard of him. A mystery entrepreneur, 150 private companies sharing you all that incredible insight. We have a European banking dynasty family coming in, talking about how they pivoted and how they're investing in a new world around the world, including automotive and AI, and doing incredibly interesting things. I mean, every one of these sessions I look at is special. Now, many of you heard my interview with the Moonshots co-host, the brilliant, the incredible entrepreneur, Dr. Alexander Wisnergross. He is one of our featured keynotes. That's Wednesday over lunch. And we're just taking off where we left in that podcast. What is investing going to look like a year and 3 years from now? How is the family office going to change? What's going to happen with space, meaning of life, purpose? What happens when capitalism, as we know it, changes, when energy and labor effectively go to near zero? That is going to be an intense conversation. I disagree with him about some of the timing, and I'm going to press him on that. So we have a very interesting conversation. And by the way, he's bringing his family office as well. Who matters and who destroys value in the family office? An uncomfortable truth. We're going very, very deep. Which roles actually move the needle and which are really more expensive theater? Family members adding value versus the ones who need probably to be have a conversation with, I'll put it that way. Outside advisors that are often overpaid, governance, so many different topics, again, with real family principles. We are going to do a session on Thursday at National Polo with the fixers, kind of at least one person who solves the biggest problems that need immediate attention, sometimes within that hour when the family calls. It could be medical, it could be financial, it could be reputational. And there is one person who is brilliant at that. We wrap up, at least on Wednesday, with the most technologically advanced single family office principal, another person incredibly successful, that talks about how they incorporated AI, agent swarms, building apps, and orchestrating all of it, coupled with their perspective about how the world is changing and how there's a dynamic flow and so much that is happening at the moment. So I wanted to share. It's not something that I normally do, so I get it. It's a little different. It's not purely dropping knowledge in a video that I'm doing, but I'm excited and proud about what me and others around me have built relative to a dedication to a special 4-day program for my members with an incredible venue, a wickedly good agenda, active participation from literally dozens of real principals and family offices. You almost have to participate to be called upon, to not to share what worked out perfectly and good, but what blew up, what went wrong, including me, and mistakes. And building a program that is driven around peers. And how could you not get value over 4 days immersed with incredible people, with billionaires, with executives that are the best in the world at leading a family office, and incredible yet carefully selected speakers around geopolitics, macro, investing in AI. I didn't even mention many of you loved when David L'Esperance appears on my show. David L'Esperance, the Canadian living in Europe and now in Asia, he moved, is the number one authority to me in the world on sovereign diversity of your residency, your passports. He's an incredibly smart tax expert and attorney and has a global perspective. And having him on stage in person, joining us over 4 days and you immersing with him and him having, you can name any country and he's like an encyclopedia in his head. And how it's changing from the top 3 a year ago, top 3 today. Here's how you structure offshore trust and assets. Here's the challenges here. He is the best in the world at it, in the world. And to be immersed, not where he's coming in for 30 or 40 minutes and says goodbye, but where he's going to be there the better part of 4 days and looks forward to it because of the intimacy in the room, the setting, and the incredible families and effectively peers that are going to be there. So yes, I'm excited about what I built, about certainly help from Alexandra Galambos and Brian Hayward, who are amazing. And I'm so fortunate to have such good friends in the community. Now, again, not really looking for sponsors. I got like two, and that's enough. I mean, if you want to reach out, if you're talented and good, we could have a conversation. I got enough, even a couple of non-family speakers. But if you're someone who wants to be in this room, wants to be part of a special club, a community, not even just this event, my proprietary content, my programs in LA, New York, Vienna, Cayman Islands, and other locations. But this is the marquee, and it's 2 weeks from today, March 16th through 19th. You just simply have to be a member. Go to angelorobles.com and membership and become a member. There is no other way to be a part of that event. You need to be a member. I don't care about, oh, the room has to look good for sponsors. My partners, which are only like two of them, it's no worry. I don't need the room to look good of hundreds of people. That lacks intimacy. I got like 60. It's a relatively small room. And not even talk about some of the social activities besides the cigar bar, some of the private dinners, breaking off into smaller groups. So there's a lot going on. Thank you for many of you reaching out saying, hey, I may want to learn more. You could always reach out to me with a text or a phone call. You could DM me within socials. And very simply, you could join, and that's automatic approval and acceptance into all that I do, including in Palm Beach. So on that note, everyone, I'm Angelo Robles. A little different. I'll go back. I got a lot to say about geopolitics, macro investing, AI, and certain other things in the family office world that I do want to talk about in solos. And I have a special guest this Wednesday live from Europe who's incredible, a family principal, incredible in investing in VC, and among the most knowledgeable people I know about when the world goes haywire and we need to have certain hedges and why owning or controlling banks and insurance companies. Wait till you hear this live conversation with David is his first name. That's going to be 11 o'clock live Eastern this Wednesday. I'll have a couple of solos. I got great guests coming up next week. I appreciate all of you. Thank you for listening. Some of you, I hope, want to inquire and learn about membership. Would look forward to that. Either way, I enjoy my interactions with you all. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day.